Well, hello, 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 hello. It's Knowledge by Nikki with 1K, and it is a lovely Sunday morning. I am actually in my studio, and I'm getting ready to start a Color Me Crazy class. I got quite a few coming from all over, and I've been up since like 3 o'clock in the morning, guys. You would think by now, I've been doing these Color Me Crazies forever. You would really think by now I wouldn't have the anxiety. It's crazy because every new class, I still have this like anxiety, because every class is different. You never quite know who's going to be in the class. And I just love the new challenge. I'm one of them girls that like challenges. Uh-oh. See, that's a challenge right there. I like challenges and I like new stuff. And let me get this together, guys. It just came right off my stand, but that's okay, right? All right, let's get this going. Hold on a second. Bear with me. I think it broke. It did, guys. It broke. So that's okay. We're going to make this work. All right. Let me just put it here. My stand just broke in the middle of my live. Isn't that crazy? That's okay. Okay, so I will do it. I'll just do it this way. Look, we'll just rig it on up here. But I got something really deep on my mind to say today. And this is one of those, y'all get a pen and some paper. It's one of those kind of days. And my people won't be here. I'm just trying to figure out how to kind of jimmy this up here so it'll stay. My people won't be here until like about 10 o'clock. So I'm going to be on for a minute. But I had to do some, I call it soul searching and research. And I had to do some things today because I have not been happy about some of the results that I myself have been getting. And let me explain to you why. I'm trying to figure out how to do this here. I have been coaching now for 3 years now, formally coaching. As I've told many of you all before, I have been informally coaching one way or another. For all my life, it seems like I've always been that go-to girl that people look for to kind of, get them going. I'm going to kind of hold it because I'm actually going to see if I can put it back. I got more than one stand. Let me see if I can put it back on another stand because I got to really get into this, y'all. So y'all just kind of bear with me. Okay, my stand would break. I got several stands since I've been doing a lot of lives here. So my stand would break in the middle of my live, right? That's okay, guys. We're going to keep it going nevertheless, okay? I mean, it's like really broke, guys. This is a whole different stand, and it's kind of acting the same. Okay, that's not working, so this is what we're going to do, guys. I'm just going to hold it, and I'm going to talk to you all about what I've been bothered about. I have been bothered about this coaching. And when I say bothered, I've actually not only not slept because of the class, but I've not slept either because I am so passionate about trying to help and assist people in this journey. So I'm always looking for a better, a more productive way of doing it. And I want to say this to you. I actually interview people now for coaching, probably about 10 a week. That's every week. Every week I interview these people, and I find myself now turning down 90% of the people that interview with me. We get on the call. There's a 90-minute process, and I'm always adding to that. I got a questionnaire now that I really have kind of honed in and known. I learned what to ask and what not to ask and all that good stuff. But what has happened is I'm turning down 9 out of 10. So I said something is wrong. So whenever I find myself not seeing what I want or things are not happening the way I want, I say, okay, let me do some soul searching first. Let me see, is it me? Is it me? Am I tripping? Am I just not seeing what I want, or what is really going on? So let me tell you what I happen to listen to. Now, for those of you all that watch me regularly, I absolutely love John Maxwell. He's probably, if you ask me today, out of all the people in the world that I would like to meet, out of everybody that I've ever liked or really loved, whether it was music, whatever, it would actually be John Maxwell. And John Maxwell, actually, his writings became my mentoring. I learned later in life as I got older that mentoring wasn't just about a person. You can actually be mentored through anything, and I'm going to explain all that in a minute. Look, y'all see, I'm still trying to figure this out here. I'm going to figure it out. You know, just call me MacGyver. For some of y'all old enough to remember MacGyver, that's me, y'all. So I'm going to figure this out, okay? So I started reading John Maxwell's books. Actually, when I was stuck in a Orlando airport, I was stuck and I had eaten, I had slept, I had did all this other stuff, and I really just didn't have nothing else to do. So I remember the very first book I read of his. It was called How Successful People Think. And that book literally single-handedly, along with me being ready for change, it totally flipped my entire way of thinking. I found that, first of all, I read it in like 2 hours. And I found that after I read this book, I just had a totally different way. Let me hold this up some because I'm going to try to figure this out some too so I can let this phone go. But outside of that, I was ready. That's the moral to it. I was ready, but it also gave me some information that I had never heard before. So let me talk to you all, and I'm going to have to stand up and do this. Let me talk to you all about what he said in one of the past books that I read. And it wasn't just a book. It was actually a podcast. I get John Maxwell's podcast. Jesus Christ. The devil is a liar. We're going to get this out today, okay? I get his podcast every single day. And in one of the podcasts, it allows you to go on and actually talks about some of the other things that you can learn or some of his other webinars and things like that you can take. So this one in particular was talking about coaching and mentoring. So listen to this. I've done a live before similarly to this, but not in this way. So I'm getting ready to do a live very different than anything that I've ever done. Once I can get this gadget here to stay where it needs to be. So let's talk about first what my experiences has been. The reason why I am denying people. Like every week, I'm like, nah, I can't coach you. No, I can't coach you. And it's happening like a lot, guys. So to tie this into what one of his podcasts said, John Maxwell said where a lot of us go wrong, meaning me too, because I've done it too, is we try to be everything to all people, and we try to make other people be everything to us. And so when he said that, I said, I kind of figure I got what he meant. But what he meant, guys, was you can't be all things to all people, and you also cannot put those expectations on other people to be all things to you. Let's examine, let's real talk. Let's talk in terms of if I'm married, which I am, or let's talk about everybody out there that's married. Send a love signal out for being married, y'all. Send a little heart or something out for being married. If you're married, and whether it be husband or wife, it doesn't matter. If you try to put that type of expectation on your husband or your wife, I don't care how much they love you, they are going to get sick of you. They're going to tell you, you need to go find some friends. You need to go, especially if you're like not working or you're not doing stuff, they're going to tell you, you need to find something to do. That's what's going to happen. I don't care how much you love your kids. If you make your children everything to you, meaning nothing else matters. I've made my kids be my friends, my kids, obviously, my partners, my fun buddies, my this, my that. Let me tell you what'll happen. Those kids will grow up, and you will find that you now have to figure out your entire identity because you were everything to those children, and yet they got other plans for their lives. I had to learn, if you make your job everything to you, if you make your job everything to you, what happens? And we use these, right? We use these hands. So what happens when you break your wrist, or you crush your arm, or you have some type of life-altering injury that literally keeps you from working? What are you then? And let me tell you, I had to learn that. I had to learn that even though I love my job, and it's bigger than just a job, it's actually who I am, but I had to allow that to also be tied into other things and other identities, because if my job had gotten taken away, now I'm not in that place now, but if my job had gotten taken away, who am I then? Now I'm lost. That's when you see people committing suicide, jumping off of bridges because they don't know who they are anymore. So let me tell you what I have been experiencing, and this is what John Maxwell elaborated on. He talked about when it comes to coaching, mentoring, counseling, and he broke that thing down. You cannot expect a business coach, a life coach, a spiritual coach, and a mentor to be all one person. And that's what I have seen happen. That's what I myself have experienced. And so he went on and on to say, but this is what I want to do. So I said, you know what? I'm going to define it. Y'all know I get some paper and I said, let me figure this out. I'm going to define each type of coach for you, because one of the reasons that I realized that I was telling 9 out of 10 people, no, I'm not going to coach you, is because I felt myself being sucked into something that is not my expertise. That is not the lane that I'm in. That is not what I do. And I had even gotten to the point, guys, where before I would even let a person talk, I would say, you know what? Let me first explain to you what I do. Let me tell you that first. Then, and I mean, I would give them the spiel, give them the business, break down every point. If that is not what you're looking for, then we probably need not to finish this conversation, because if that's not what you're looking for, then I'm not that girl. I would still get, after I said all of that, I would still get them to go through this whole spiel of what's going on with them, and none of it had anything to do with what I said I just did. So then I found myself, guys, getting frustrated. And I said, okay, is it me? Am I not saying it right? What am I not doing that people are not hearing me? So I actually have coaches. I have mentors. I have all of that. So I asked some of them, am I doing something wrong? What am I missing? You know what they told me, and I get it. When people are hurting, or when people are in dire, stressful, personal business decisions or personal pitfalls, or they have not made peace with some of their past discretions, demons, problems, tragedies, they just want help so bad that the first person, which I know I have in a very approachable spirit, and I thank God for that, they want help so bad that they want to latch on to someone, and they want to dump all of that on one person who may not be equipped to help them navigate through all of that. Okay, so let me break down first before I keep going. Let me tell you, and I got this from several sources. This is what a business coach is. A business coach will assist and guide the business owner in running a business by helping them clarify their vision of their business and how it fits with their personal goals. Business coaching is a process used to take a business from where it is now to where the owner wants to be. Okay? Simple. A life coach, because let me tell y'all something. A lot of you all that come to us business coaches, you really need life coaches. And I'm going to go deeper into this in a minute. A life coach is a person who counsels and encourages the clients on matters having to do with career choices or personal challenges. Okay? Y'all got that? There are spiritual coaches, and John Maxwell, when he did this podcast, he broke this down. So I just kind of took this from a lot of sources to kind of paraphrase what he was saying. A spiritual coach is a coach that helps you change your life by changing the way you operate on a deeper level. Rather than just examining behaviors, habits, and goals, they delve into your deep-rooted beliefs and your connections with some higher power. Okay? A mentor. A mentor is an experienced and trusted advisor, guiding, confidant, counselor, consultant, etc. Listen to this. I'm going further. The knowledge, advice, and resources a mentor shares depends on the format and goals of the specific mentoring relationship. That means it ain't got to be business. It could be anything. A mentor may share with a mentee or protege, they're calling it, information about his or her career path, as well as providing guidance, motivation, key word here, emotional support, and role modeling. A mentor is a person that you look at their lives, and whether you want to be like them, they literally are walking the walk that you say you want to walk in some fashion, okay? So then I'm going to go further. You see this graph? This is like the best graph I could have ever got. Look, I got to take my glasses off to read this, right? It breaks down. I'm going to show it. You see? It actually, some of them cross over. But I'm going to break down. It breaks down consultant. Listen to this. A consultant, this is where they fall. They paid to come up with answers. That's what they do. They come up with answers for whatever. Focus on organizational performance, okay? And sometimes they strive for objectivity. They provide quantitative analysis for your problems. That's just a consultant. That's somebody you generally pay. They give you something you need to do and how you need to see stuff. You talk to them and it's over, okay? Then it goes into more. Now, this goes into the coaching realm. Then it says advises individual or leaders on business matters, involves management and goal setting that's similar to coaching based on organizational ethics, and is generally paid for by you or the company. It also says that somebody that consults is somebody you talk to for maybe 1 or 2 times, then it's over. That's it. It's over. Ain't no lingering nothing. You pay them, they give you information, and they're done, okay? Then it goes into therapy. Therapy falls under the life coaching aspect. It says therapy, paid to ask the right questions, tackles difficult issues at work and home, focuses on individual behavioral training. I actually took a coaching course for coaches, and it talked about core behavioral analysis. That's kind of what it does. Explores subjective experiences, focuses on the past. Keyword, past. They realize in therapy that you got some stuff that if you don't get it together from your past, is going to affect everything you do. So they have to go back. They have to focus on how did you get here, okay? Diagnoses and treats dysfunctionality based on medical ethics, etc., etc. Y'all got that? All right, now let me read coaching. Coaching, the first thing it says is they focus on the future. Coaches do not focus on your past. Now, I'd be naive if I thought that at no point do I ever have to understand that some of the things that you're dealing with are going to affect you professionally. That's just, I'll take me for instance. When I was going through the worst times in my life, let me tell you what I did. I knew I had to slow down. I knew I had to push pause. I had several people, counselors, coaches, mentors. I had all of that. But what I did know was that if I didn't handle the past issues, it wasn't no need of me even going to no business coach, because I couldn't yet grasp what it meant in order for me to do this when in my personal life I wasn't doing that. I don't believe, and I know there's some people that will disagree with me, I don't believe you can be truly successful being two people. I believe what you do in your personal life, it will affect, even little stuff. If you're disorganized in your personal life, you're going to be disorganized in your business. If you are a procrastinator in your personal life, you're going to be a procrastinator in your business. I don't care what anybody says. And if you try to suppress it, eventually that part of you is going to come out. So I fully understand that there are some personal things that we got to deal with, or it's going to hinder our businesses. I get that. What I need everyone listening to me to get is that when you haven't handled that, and I know you have not yet become self-aware, so that's why you think that I'm just going to go over here to this business coach and she going to help me or he going to help me with everything that I need, and I'm just going to get better and the business is going to get better, no. And let me tell you what happens. Even someone like me, and I probably border between a business, salon development strategist, and a life coach. And the only reason I'm able to border is because God allowed me to go through enough so that I can understand not just what I'm telling you, but through my own personal experiences, understand where these behaviors or lack of came from. But that does not mean that I can, even as a business strategist, because I have not been through any type of training for a life coach, even though I have the ability and the empathy to understand what you're going through, you cannot think with a business strategist, if they're focused on the future, we can't keep being pulled back into your past. What's going to end up happening is it starts to now basically pause. It starts to paralyze the purpose that we're trying to move forward. So, what I want to say to everyone listening to this, you have to be honest with yourself. And John Maxwell said it best. He said he advises every single person, leaders. Now, he's advising leaders of nations. He said he advises all of them to have multiple coaches for multiple areas of their life. You cannot expect your spiritual coach to tell you what necessarily to do in in your business. You cannot expect your business coach to understand what I've did Facebook Lives on called Learn Helplessness. That is something that a life coach, even though I've learned it, I understand it. For those of you all who may not know what Learn Helplessness is, I went to a coaching conference and I was trying to figure out, why can't I get certain people to move? Why can't I'm one that be like, look, I'll do it for you. And they still won't move. This is what I learned. And it was such an eye-opener for me. They said there's something called learned helplessness. And it is a diagnosis that it is a form of, I forgot how they classified it. It's a psychiatric something. I forgot the word. But what it does is, they've attributed it to leading to depression, to leading to suicide, et cetera, et cetera. So let me explain it to you in short. Learned helplessness is when the brain has been hardwired. Whether you know it or not, every experience you go through from child up, it actually hardwires your brain, if you're not careful, to believing that this can potentially be normal. There are some people who others look at it like, how do they think that's normal? That is not normal. But somewhere along the line, their brains got hardwired to believing that this thing is just the way it is. So this is what happens. When you're going through a tragic situation in your life, or even if it's not life-threatening, but it's something that you don't like. It's something that releases a hormone we call cortisol. The brain releases 4 things: cortisol, dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. Cortisol is the hormone that they call, it's where you get the fight or flight response. It's the thing that makes you nervous. It's the thing that makes you scared. There are people, they have actually figured out that they have a overproduction of cortisol, and that is attributing to their depression. So when your body feels something, when something happens and it makes you afraid, or it kind of puts you in a hostage situation or whatever it is, your brain, depending on how long you stay there, and it really could happen at childhood more effectively than at adulthood. If you stay in a situation too long and you tolerate it, you accept it, your brain will start to adjust. Your brain will start to, because it's geared up to protect you. Your brain will start saying that, okay, it's not so bad, this is what it is, even though everything inside of you is saying this isn't right. This just ain't cool. This is not okay. What'll happen is, even when you get out of that situation and you're no longer in it, every time you feel that same feeling of, butterflies, or feel like you're going to throw up, or whatever that feeling is that you got with that same thing that could have happened 20 years ago, your brain is hardwired to literally respond in the same way, meaning there's nothing I could do about it. I just got to deal with it. And what happens is, it forms something, and I'm really simplifying it. It forms something called learned helplessness. In other words, you figure, I felt this before. You don't even know you're thinking it. I felt this before. When I felt this, I couldn't do nothing about it, so I just had to deal with it. And learned helplessness can be so bad with so many of us that even when we are given relief from it, meaning even when somebody said, if you do this, it's over, it's done, it'll be taken care of, it'll be over. I had to learn, because I didn't understand. Some people will literally refuse to help. Some people will literally not even take the thing or the idea or the money or the whatever that will totally free them from this situation. And because they have learned subliminally that they are helpless and that there's nothing they can do about it. And this is something that really happens with children when they're young, because as a child, if you're in a dysfunctional household, I mean really dysfunctional, where you gonna go? You can't do nothing about it. So that becomes hardwired. And what happens is your brain starts to adjust and your brain starts to say, I'm going to protect myself and it's okay. They have linked this to Stockholm syndrome. That is how people can be held hostage for years and years and years and eventually become a protector of the one that took them, because your brain is geared up to protect you. So if you're not careful, you will find your brain hardwiring itself, and you don't even realize it, to stuff that you now think is okay that was never okay. So here I am. I'm a business coach, and I'm interviewing people, 10, sometimes more, every week that want help in this area. And I'm like, what is really going on? First thing is, I am not a life coach. Even though I have the capacity to understand struggles, if you need a life coach, get a life coach. That is what they're for. I'm here to focus on your future. A life coach has to focus on your past and be able to emotionally connect the dots. And if it's a spiritual situation where you loved God at one minute and now your life has taken you the other way and you just out there and you're not connected to anything bigger than you, then you may need a spiritual coach too. What I'm saying to you guys is you cannot try to make one person everything to you. It's not fair. It's not effective. You won't get help and they won't feel effective in your life. So what I've decided to do, now this is me, I understand what doesn't happen will affect what is supposed to happen. So I have now decided I'm going to partner with life coaches. I'm going to partner with spiritual coaches. And I'm also going to partner with people that just serve as what I call a mentoring capacity. I have decided to add these components to my coaching program. I got Aspire, Stretch, and Build. I decided to add that because my heart is to help you. But I believe in staying in my lane. And that ain't my lane. If you're telling me that your husband just gave you a black eye and you didn't go to work, and guys, I hear this kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, what do I say? What am I supposed to now? I know it ain't right, and I know it's not okay, but now you got me in an awkward position because that's really not my lane. And then we have to also be careful how far we go into your personal lives, because we only know one half of the story, and we don't know all of the things that the backstory. So we also as coaches have to be cautious about how much input we give you in areas that we have very limited knowledge on. So you all have to understand this is not what we do. So I'm gonna go a little further, right? And if any of you all, seriously, I want y'all to get this. I got all this here. If you all want this, text me at 1-800-580-8074. That's my 800 text line. Text me there. I will happily snapshot it and send it to you. Okay, let me read something else. This is what, I'm a business coach. This is also what you need to look for in a business coach. And I'm going to say this because another thing that's happening is breaking my heart. When I'm interviewing these people, they're telling me about how many of these other, and if y'all on here and you have been coaching or claim to coach and you just been taking people's money and you have not given them what they're supposed to get, shame on you. I got people telling me I want to join your group, but the last one I joined, I'm hesitant now because I paid them $5,000 and y'all taxing them on top of that. I paid them $5,000. They did nothing for me. Now, it could be two ways now. It could be that they actually did nothing or that you expected something that wasn't what they did. Let me give you an example. Some of you all know that you need face-to-face, voice-to-voice. You need more of a personal touch with a coach. So why would you pay for a coaching service that's totally online? Why would you do that? You know that's not going to give you what you need. You need to be in people's face. You need to see them, touch them, feel them, hear them. Why would you pay for an online coaching program? Why? That doesn't make sense. So why would you do that? So it could be a little of both. But I do know coaching all of a sudden is this big thing. So, and I know everybody out here that's coaching wasn't supposed to. Let me tell y'all something about that. Me and Denise Michelle, who I'll actually be teaching her knowing your numbers. Y'all want to get y'all money right at her Mentorship Miami in late August. So go on mentorshipmiami.com. You'll find it. Her and I were talking because she's a true mentor and I'm a true coach. And we were talking about where did this come from that all these people all of a sudden are coaching. First of all, coaching is a call to your life. And most people that are coaching, that are supposed to coach, we don't want to do that. We like, I ain't gonna be able to do that. We ran from it. 99% of us that now do it because we were pulled to do it. We didn't just jump out and decide to do that because we like, oh no. I remember when people been asking me to coach for 20 years, a mentor for 20 years. I'm like, because what's that mean? Y'all call me every day? I don't know what that means. It took me from the time I knew God said it's time to do it. It took me 7 years from that moment to now to say, okay. And I literally, when I knew God called me to do something, I said, let me study it. Let me learn it. Let me join some coaching groups. Let me see what this is. Let me be on the other side. I did that for 7 years before I did it because it is serious business when you decide you're going to take on other people's lives and help them navigate. That's for real. You could either be instrumental or detrimental to their lives. So that was serious to me. Okay, so all of y'all self-proclaimed, ain't went through nothing in life, ain't went through no training, nothing. You need to go sit down and stop taking people's money. That's what you need to do because they're the real coaches. These people still need help. They coming to us. It's me, Sharita. It's a bunch of us who not only have been through stuff, but we have paid $11,000, $15,000, $20,000 to sit under people to tell us how to do this thing right. You all are taking their money, and then when they come to us, now we got to do all kind of flips and tricks and all kind of stuff to convince them that we ain't shady. It's wrong, and you need to stop it. Okay, so I'm gonna help y'all out. Y'all want to know what makes a good business coach? Let me help you out. Okay, I pulled this from several sources too. I'm hot. Y'all know I get hot when on Sunday. I always kind of be on a tangent, especially when I've been up early. Right? You got to find somebody that has your same chemistry and mindset. That's first. This is what you need to look for in a coach. Find someone who is gonna make you accountable. Don't get no coach that's gonna tell you what you want to hear. I ain't that girl. Anybody that knows me, when people ask me stuff, and I know it might not be taken well, I say, do you really want me to answer that? Do you really? You sure? Because I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I say I plead the fifth. Because I know you're going to be mad, and I don't want to hear that, okay? Ask for a needed dose of honesty. You cannot be helped being lied to. You want people that don't care if you like it, don't care if you cry about it. They are going to tell you the truth. Hey, what's up, Kendra? That's my girl. She gonna be at my salon owners conference. We gonna get it together, Kendra. That's my other coach, right? You need to look for someone that has opposing strengths. You know where your weaknesses are. Don't tie yourself into somebody that's weak in the same areas that you are. Why would you do that? And if you have enough conversation, and I do a 90-minute interview, and it's intense, you have enough conversation, you'll know that. Make sure they have goodwill towards you and your company. Let me tell y'all something. One thing I know you cannot fake is sincerity. That's for real. Y'all could try. You could try to be fake all you want, but people know when you're phony. They know when it ain't real. They ain't got to do nothing. Even if they watch you only online, the one time they get in front of you, they say, oh no, that ain't what, that's an act on TV. This ain't no reality TV here. This is real, okay? So you got to make sure it's somebody that has goodwill, and you don't know if they have goodwill. You will know if they doing it for the money. This ain't about money. You got to have a will and a desire to help people and really want to see them get to their dreams. You have to want that like you want it for yourself to be a good coach, okay? Then where's number 6? You want to seek out somebody that is living what they're saying. I just had a conversation with another friend of mine who's on here, and that's Danielle McBride. That's my health coach, and she gonna actually be helping me with this life coaching thing, y'all. And you want someone, I say all the time, like I forgot, we talked this morning, and she made a statement, something about people that, someone she knew that was teaching a particular type of coaching, and then she found out through people she had recommended to this person that she was doing everything contrary to what it was that she was coaching. And that didn't make sense to her. So she said she stopped recommending her. So then the lady called her and said, what's up? I noticed you haven't recommended anybody to me in a while. She said she told her, like, because something ain't right. I'm getting feedback from these people I'm recommending to you, and I don't understand. Let me say this. This is about, if you want to be an effective coach, you better live what you say. You better, if you telling people how to be organized, then you better be organized. If you telling people how to trust God and get up every day, then you better do it. Because let me tell you what'll happen if you don't live what you say. God will allow you to be exposed. And when you become exposed, it's real bad. It's real bad. If you want people to work in a certain capacity, you work there too. I was never a person that believed in that when I had my salons. If I tell the employees to park over there, I'm not parking at the front. I don't care about that. I'm going to park over there too. I'm not better than them. If I tell y'all we going to all clean this joint up, then I got knee pads and gloves on with the best of them. I believe, first of all, coaching is about serving. And if you don't have a servant's heart, then you ain't got no business doing it. If you don't like serving people, you ain't got no business coaching, no way. So you all have to perceive that, just like I always say when I tell people about where to find a salon. Just like they interviewing you, you better interview them too. You better ask some questions on a piece of paper so they can so you can ask them some stuff, because it has to be a fit. Okay, let me keep going, y'all. Look for someone. Now I learned this from Dave Ramsey's Entre Leadership Group, y'all. This is the truth. It said, look for someone who has no problem admitting their failures. Let me tell you, when I joined Dave Ramsey's Entre Leadership Group, and they were talking about how to interview people, they said this is a question. Actually, this was on one of the webinars. This is a question that they teach people about staffing. They say, because this question throws people all the way off. You go ahead and ask your normal stuff, and then you ask them, listen to me, y'all, salon owners. Y'all want to interview people? You want to see what their character is about? Ask them, tell me about your biggest failure. They said you will be amazed at how people, that throws them so off. They're like, oh my God, what am I supposed to say? Because people who have learned, who have gotten wiser, who have reflected, who ain't got no problem saying I was wrong, they said, and it's the truth, you gonna get one of three answers. They either gonna act like they don't have none and not say nothing, or they're gonna admit them and talk about their fault and their responsibility to them, or they gonna blame shift. Or they gonna say this happened to me, but it was because of so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. The two you don't want the one that blame shifts, and you don't want the one that act like they ain't never had no failures. I'm telling you, that question alone it throws people, because nobody expects that, right? So y'all already know. Y'all have been watching me on Facebook. I ain't got no problem being transparent. God has brought me from a place that I still today sometimes sit and cry like, God, who knew? Who knew that I would be there and end up here? And I think it would be a disservice to God, to my Father, Jesus Christ, to not let people know what happened and all the steps that it took for me to get here. But I still had to do the work. I still had to sit back and say, God, tell me what to do. Direct me what to do. Direct me to who I need to connect to, who I need to disconnect to. Because it wasn't just about connecting. It was also about disconnecting to some people and some stuff, and say, you know what, God, I need to get in a place. I need you to put a fence around me. That's what I need so that I can get here. But once I got to that place, I said, God, I remember I had a panic attack. And that was, oh God, 2000, I don't know what year it was, because I had a lot going on. I didn't even believe panic attacks was real, y'all. I used to think, what are they talking about, a panic attack? And I had one. And I remember falling on my knees because I knew what was going on that had brought me in this place. And I could barely breathe. And I remember saying on that day, I want to say it was 2000, maybe 2-ish or 3-ish. I remember saying on that day, and I meant this thing, I said, God, I know I've said this before, but if you get me out of this situation, y'all done said that too, so don't act like I'm the only one that said it. I said, if you get me out of this situation, I promise you, everything I do from this day forward will be to serve you. And I have not reneged, not one day, on that promise. Not one day. And God said, and when I say I got up out that panic attack and I was able to breathe and it felt like God had took a backpack with bricks off my back, I said, God, I get it. And so from that day forward, everything I did was about it was bigger than me. It was bigger than just a shop. It was about serving God's people and allowing them to see my flaws. I'm human. To see my flaws, to see where I messed up. I told y'all a couple weeks ago, you know why I'm good with money? When I first started getting good with knowing how to do money was when the courts mandated me to sit in a 4-week, 8-hour class on Saturday, so I'm losing money for bad check writing. That's when I said, okay, I get it. Ain't no need of me being embarrassed because I had no business trying to beat the check to the bank and then can't pay it. That's when I learned it. I said, God, I don't care what it took. Now that I get that, I sat in there for 8 hours for 4 Saturdays with a grove of people. They all in there embarrassed. I say, no need of us being in here embarrassed. We all in here for the same stuff. So since they trying to teach us something, we need to learn it, we need to use it, and we need to give it back so other people don't end up here. And that's exactly what I did. And the teacher was like, oh, thank you so much. Because they was in there acting crazy. Look, we got to be here. So let's do this thing. So again, look for someone who admits their failures. You ain't right all the time. All right? Make sure they are trustworthy and objective. Okay? These are things y'all need to look for in a business coach. That's what I do. Then there's one more here. Ensure that they have the ability to bring out your best thinking. I want you to know every time you get off the phone, text, email, however you and your coach connect, you should feel like you can fly. You should feel like you could take on the world. If it is a good coach, by the time you left there, you are on a high. Now, you still got to do the work now. That's a dopamine high. That's one of those other hormones that's secreted in the brain. That's dopamine. Dopamine wears off. So you have to from then, and that's why coaches give you action plans so you have enough to sustain you. So the next time y'all talk, you're not going from up here to down here, from up here to down here. Because see, that's when for us coaches, it becomes emotionally draining. Because it's like, now, I just talked to you last week. What happened? What happened? Okay? And that's what we have to deal with. That's where even life coaches come in to help understand, why do you keep going back here? You know it ain't working. That's why you called us. So what is it? And they start dealing with what we call core behavioral analysis, which is what I learned in the coaching that I went to. And they start kind of figuring out, picking away, what's going on? No matter what we give you, you keep coming back. Something is happening that makes you you know it ain't working, yet you keep on coming back here. What is that, guys? So my point to this whole Facebook Live, and I think my people will be pulling up in a minute. You cannot be all things to all people. Look, my nose is running. Y'all know when I rant, my nose runs. So y'all forgive me about that. I don't have any tissue here either. You know you can be all things to all people, even in your salon businesses. I learned years ago, it is okay to tell a client, no, I'm not going to be able to do you. No. Attitude ain't right. Energy ain't right. Spirit ain't right. I can't do you. I even learned how to put people out. I have literally, and I remember the first time I did it, I felt like, can I do this? Should I do this? It was a lady I had for way too long. Like 10 years too long. And I finally decided this ain't going to work because she brought mayhem to the whole salon. It wasn't even just me. The assistants would literally pay each other to, it's your turn to shampoo this time. Let me tell you, I never forget. I have what's called in my contract books. If you go on knowledgebynikki.com, you'll see something called Paper Makes Permanent. It's a whole book of all kind of contracts. And I have what's called in it called a salon departure contract. That's when you're telling a client, don't come here no more. But it's really professionally worded. And I remember she was the first person I gave that contract to. And I gave it to her and looked at her. And not only did I give it to her, I told her today is on me. It's on me today. That's how much I really don't want you to come back here. I ain't even gonna make you pay for the day. Because I gave it to her when I finished. I knew when I was doing it, it's gonna be the last day. And that changed everything for me. Everything for me. And I'm like, oh, I don't have to do everybody. Oh, I don't have to just deal with clients that just bring mayhem to the side. Oh, I don't have to do it. Oh, it was on after that. I said, oh, no, I don't. Even now, no, I don't want to do that. I don't have to do everything. I believe there's a book by Jack Canfield. That's the guy that made Chicken Soup for the Soul. I believe in the power of focus. I believe, now don't get me wrong, as I was coming through, just like a lot of you all, I tried some of everything. Okay, let's try this, see what happens, let's try that. And it all got me here. But there is a point that you are going to have to become what we call a, not a generalist, but a specialist. And if y'all want to just talk in terms of money, y'all know specialists make way more money than generalists, right? Y'all know that, right? So I'm fine. I'm fine. People, I started off teaching cutting, and I'm a very good hair cutter. You ask me to do a haircutting class now, the answer is no, with all exclamation points. Not because I can't do it. I can sing. For some of you all that don't know that, I mean, I can really sing. Only those close to me would know that. And at one time, early on in my childhood, I was in the community choirs and all that. I thought I don't want to do that. So people now that know, like, why you don't sing? Because I don't have to do that. I don't have to be all things to all people. I don't have to try to exist in every lane. And Jack Canfield's book is called that, The Power of Focus. I have learned that I am much better, and you will be too, if once you kind of try some stuff and figure it out. Because I do believe in people, as they coming through, try some stuff. You don't know yet. But I believe once you get there, you need to start giving up what they call the good for the great. People ask me every day, how long am I going to keep doing hair? It's probably not going to be much longer. Not because I got the best clients on the planet. They don't care what nothing costs. And I only do hair every other week. But I trickled that down. And people are like, why would you give that up? I said, because at the end of the day, all of us got the 24 hours in a day and the 7 days a week. All of us got the same thing. And at some point, that time, that 24-hour, or I would say now I'm down to 12, 13-hour day, even for those 4 days a month, is going to, even though it's good, y'all, it's good, but it's going to hinder me from being great. So at some point, as I've trickled it down, I'm going to have to give that up. They know it. I know it. And I'm okay with it. So right now, I'm in what we call transitional plan mode. Not exit plan, transitional plan. And that's something all of you all have to do too. And if you get a good business coach and they want to assist you with how to go from here to there, there is a transition. There is a period where you got to do a little more of this, a little less of this, a little more of that, or you may have to do a lot of things just to kind of balance it out financially and otherwise until you can eventually go more over into where you're trying to go. Okay? But again, remember, business coaches, we focus on your future. Now, if any of you all are on here, if you are a business coach, so don't be naive now and think that their past is not going to hinder their future. Yes, it is. But my responsibility now is to know where my expertise ends and to say, you know what? I'm going to refer you to the life coach that works with me, because I think this is a matter that, it's a she, I think this is a matter that she would be better equipped for, better trained for, and I want to make sure that simultaneously we could be working on your mind, your spirit, and then I have Danielle McBride on here who's going to partner with me also. She's a health coach. So she's going to be working on your body, because whether we know it or not, when all those things are not in sync, you ain't right. You this way 1 minute, you lose the focus. If you eat, I don't care what nobody says. If you eat fast food every day and that's all you eat, that's all you do, it is going to mess with the way you think. Your focus is going to be off. You can't put junk in your body and think that you're not going to be all over the place and, sugar highs and lows and crashing and all this. You can't even think straight. I had thyroid cancer back in 2009. I got diagnosed with Hürthle cell follicular neoplasm carcinoma. That's what this is, if you see it. And God, look, this is funny, y'all. It was down here, and I had tumors on my laryngeal nerve. And they moved it up on the second surgery. How they did that, I don't know. But I remember that was when my life was turning. That was when my life was really going a direction that I knew God had his hand 100% in it. I mean, things were happening, and I'm like, good Lord, God, I can't even keep up. Favor, because I was faithful to what I told him I was going to do. And I remember they told me, that doctor looked in my eyes. He was an endocrinologist oncologist, because it was in my thyroid duct. He said, you're going to have to, I was at Northwestern Memorial Hospital, and he said, you know what? You're going to have to sign these papers, because based off of where these tumors are, it is going to be less than, I mean, they gave me some low percentage, less than a 5% chance or something like that, that you will ever talk again. Because when we remove these tumors, we may have to cut into your laryngeal nerve in order for you, in order to get it all. So, you know what? I ain't lose a day's sleep. I was like, I knew God didn't bring me this far. This is what I do. I knew God did not bring me this far to take away the thing, the gift that he gave me, which is communication. I knew that. So I was like, My mother scared. I'm like, whatever. When I say y'all, I kept doing what I was doing. I was like, It didn't faze me one bit. So then I had the surgery. They took it out, and my throat hurt like crazy. And I'm actually supposed to talk with Mike and I'm supposed to do a singer's regiment with my throat. I don't always do it, so I'm gonna get better, y'all. I actually, when I came back in the surgery, in the recovery room, I remember them saying to me, say your name. Y'all, I screamed my name so loud. It hurt like heck. But I screamed my name so loud, and they were like, oh my gosh, she actually can talk. I was like, I wasn't shocked. So they were amazed. So here it is. That was April 2009. So I had to stay off for a minute and do all this other stuff. So then I get a call back. Maybe it was Good Friday of 2009. They told me after they did the pathology report, and after they take the tumors out, they examine them, see what's in them, if they benign, them, malignant, or whatever. After they did that, they said, we see from the x-ray, you have 2 tumors on the other side of your laryngeal nerve, and we need to get those too. So we already made you an appointment for, this was Good Friday, for Tuesday. I said, Tuesday, like 3-4 days from now, Tuesday? They're like, yeah, because it's got to come out because of where it is. Because where it's position, they said it looks like it may have went into your lymph nodes. I said, okay, whatever. I ain't think nothing else about it. I was doing hair. I told my mother, she's sitting there with tears in her eyes, and I kept doing hair like whatever. So I went back. They told me again, they made me sign this paper, y'all. They said, we are almost like 100% that it is no way. They told me, for any of you all old enough to remember Roger Ebert, they told me the only way I would speak would be with that voice thing that make you sound like a robot. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. I ain't think no more about it. They went in there, cut on the other side. That's when he decided to move the incision from here up. How he did that, I don't know. And same thing, I went in that recovery room, and they said, say your name. And I said, now I couldn't say it as loud because that sound hurt real bad. I said my name. They were like, it's a miracle. Because they said, first of all, it's a miracle that you even knew that you had this cancer. Let me tell you how God works. I had been on a serious, like even healthier than I am now. I had been on a healthy diet where I was consuming a lot of soy. Everything was soy based. They said this particular form of cancer, which I'll say it again, is called Hürthle cell follicular neoplasm carcinoma. They said this type of cancer typically grows inward. By the time people know they got it, it's too late, and you already know the rest of that story. What happened was I was consuming so much soy that I went to a restaurant one morning to get some breakfast, and I looked up, y'all, and I promise y'all I had a golf ball just overnight right here. I'm like, what? And it was hard as a rock. So I ain't wanted to run to the doctor for everything, but I knew that wasn't right. So I said, let me go see what's up with this. So I went to the doctor that day. It was like bam, 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 bam. He sent me to the endocrinologist all in the same day. They did the biopsy, said they call me back in a week. They called me back in 4 hours. They sent me to Northwestern. This all in one day. I'm like, is it that serious? So they wanted to do surgery that weekend. I had commitments to people that had already paid me for 30 days to do stuff. I said, y'all, I can't back out of these commitments. The doctor was like, you got 30 days. You got 30 days to get back here and have his surgery. And that's when he did the surgery. So my point, I don't even know why I even went that direction, guys. My point is to you all is that we all need help. We all need people that have our best interests at heart. We all need someone to help us coach. We need some, I'm doing a conference, a round table in the next couple of weeks with the millennials. I love millennials. I know some of y'all say they get on y'all reserve nerve because y'all don't understand them. I've been really trying to understand how they think. And let me tell you, I got a 23-year-old. Let me tell you the one thing that they have said. They can only be led by good leadership. If there ain't no good leadership there, they ain't doing nothing you say. I don't have no problem with them. None. My daughter and her friend, I don't have not a problem with them. But if you are not a leader that lives by example, they ain't hearing nothing you have to say. Now, it's more to them than that. So I got 5 millennials from 3 different beauty schools. And I'm gonna stream it. And I got a book. It's way over there. I don't want to run and get it. But it's called How to Get the Best Out of Millennials. It's really for the church, but it's just organizational. And when I say that book breaks it down in a way I have never, ever, just how they think, how they do. So I hear a lot of you all, the people I do coach, like I want to get people straight out of school and I want to employ them. Y'all do know millennials are from 22 to 37. Who else you going to be employing? You're going to be employing that age group. But you got to understand them. And you're going to be an informal coach, whether you know it or not. And you also may kind of organically become a mentor. But that's only if you're doing what you say. So those of y'all that need some help to get to that place where you now become a good leader, a good example to anybody, mentors, people in your age group that you coach, text me. 800-580-8074, or you can go on my website, Knowledge by Nikki with 1K. First, soon as you get on there, it'll say free consultation. Let's chomp it out. Let's talk about it. But remember, I'm a business coach, but I now have partnered life coaches, spiritual coaches, health coaches, because I realize in order to help you, we all got to kind of work together, but it is not my area. So for any of you all that have been getting denied by me, please don't take it personal. Please don't. It's not you. It's just that I want to be able to I stay in my lane. And I know based off of what you tell me, I am not qualified to help you at that level. So I don't want to send you away because I know I can help you once we get some things together. So hit me up. I can still help you, but I'm going to tell you either first, second, or during, you need to do this first. You need to do that first. Or if we start here and then you go off somewhere, I'm going to say we're going to pause and I'm going to have you talk to this person for maybe the next couple of weeks so we can get you back on track. We're all going to work together because my passion is to see my industry grow. For those of you all that see my video, I want to see us end well. I want to see us even have a choice in the end. And we're not going to have it, guys, if we don't do better. So, Salon Owner Strategies Conference, knowledgebynikki.com with 1K. Y'all check it out. I'm going to be talking about a lot of this stuff there. I'm also going to be doing a Knowing Your Numbers, Money Matters, y'all. I'm going to be doing that at my show also. Salon Owner Strategies. It's in Vegas, Las Vegas. That's at the end of second week in November. November 9th, 10th, and 11th. And guess what else, guys? I just secured it. Puerto Rico, I love Puerto Rico. I've been to Puerto Rico 7 times. I think I was more hurt when Puerto Rico got messed up probably than some other people. So what I decided to do, I'm doing a Money Matters conference in San Juan. We going back to Puerto Rico, babies, and we going next April 28th, 9th, and 30th. Right now it's going to be at the Verdanza Hotel, but we working out some things, so I may switch it to across the street to the Ritz-Carlton. So, guys, just get help. Just get help. That's all I want you to do. But don't put so much emphasis on one person to be everything for you. It cannot happen. It is not fair, and you're not going to get the help you need. Okay, my baby's going to be coming up. I'm about to do Color Me Crazy. Also, some of you all that have contacted me about Color Me Crazy, I started Color Me Crazy. It was about business. It wasn't about color. It was about business. So I started Color Me Crazy to use the service of color to help you transition from salon, being behind the chair, to now either being able to do less hair or no hair at all. So I start at the end of every year with a whole different Color Me Crazy. If you all want to get in on that, I only got a few seats left. I'm doing Color Me Crazy Business Edition. It is also in Las Vegas, October 28th and 9th at the Embassy Suites, $2 down from the convention center. If you all want to get in on that, hit me up, 800-580-8074. You can go online also and see it, but see, online, you got to pay for it in full. There are no payment arrangements. So if you want payment arrangements, come see me. And also, just so you know, I'm going to put it out here. I said I wasn't going to tell y'all till they got closer, but I'm going to tell you. I'm also in the process, and they should be ready then. I am coming up with a planner. It is a how-to grow your color business in 12 months and literally give you the option of being behind the chair. That will be ready. It's going to be in paper form and a video that goes along with it. And I wish I had my little video to show you. I have what's called the new DVD. You all stay right there. Let me see if I could grab it real quick. I'm going to grab this to show you all something. Let's see, where are we here? All right, y'all, coming back. I had to put stuff away for the people that are coming. Y'all see this? This is the new DVD. This is what now all of my videos will be on. All of my Money Matters. Y'all see this? I actually got inspired by this. These are USB adapters that you have to put, wrong way. Yeah, you have to put a SIM card in here. So you record your videos, drop them on your computer, drag and drop them on a SIM card. You can do this on several SIM cards and put them in here. This is just a USB adapter, so you can do it with a regular USB. But guess what happened? I sold a gang of these, and they didn't have this part. They were just a USB. So one of the girls at the thing, because you know some of y'all stylists don't own computers. I don't understand why, but y'all don't. All y'all got is phones and tablets. So she said, oh, man, that's cool, but I don't have no computer. I'm going to have to use my husband's computer. So then I was like, okay, I need to go back to the table because a lot of stylists don't have a computer. So I'm getting these custom made, guys. Y'all see this? If you got an iPhone, it go in your phone. If you got the old Android, or either this is the new iPhone 1, and if you got an Android, it goes in there. This one right here, I have 22 45-minute videos on this one little drive. You put it in your phone, they populate. They tell you to download an app called iUSB. It's free. They populate on your phone. You sit and watch them on your phone. Is that not the best? Oh, my God. All right, so I got somebody making these for me where I have my little logo on the middle. But this is the new DVD, y'all. So you can watch this anywhere. You can take this on the plane, put it in your computer, put it in your phone. It don't matter. So this is what everything I have will be on. Okay? And you'll be able to digitally download it off my website. So you all check me out. Any questions, hit me up, 580-8074, or you can go on my website, put something in the comment, email me, or if you want a consultation, hit me up, push that. It'll show you my schedule. Book yourself a consultation, and I'll be ready when you get here. All right, guys, really. I gotta go, deuces. This is Knowledge by Nikki with 1K. Now you know what a real coach is. See you later.